Hey. Alright. Let me just get comfortable. So I'm back with another video, and I just got off work a couple hours ago. And I thought I was losing my voice because I've been talking all day to patients. I work in hospital pharmacy, as you know by now. And sometimes it gets so busy that you do lose your voice. Sometimes I'm outpatient. I'm not so much inpatient. I feel like I'm in between. When I'm making IVs, I'm inpatient. And then when I'm dealing with the retail side of things, that's outpatient. So that's when I'm really talking to patients and dealing with their issues and insurance and that type of thing. So yeah, it does get pretty busy, and sometimes my voice just goes or it just sounds like it's going, so I have to drink something hot to bring it back. But it's feeling better now. I do have the sniffles because it is cold outside. I live in Minnesota. It's cold here. I think it's like 10 degrees, supposed to be like -1 by Saturday. But we know how to dress out here to keep ourselves warm. Alright, so now that I'm cozy, I got my blanket on me, my dog's over there snoring, we can chat. So anyway, this semester, before going into it, like I'm talking, okay, I started school in the summer. I took public speaking. I can't remember what other classes I took, but I remember that being challenging because it was online and I've never done online classes before. And I think I had to because of COVID. That was challenging enough. Now come fall semester, I'm taking 16 credits and I'm still working full time. I knew it was going to be challenging, so that's why I prayed before I entered fall semester. I was praying like the entire year, but I prayed extra hard before entering this semester because I knew how challenging it would be because of how many credits I was taking. I didn't mean to take that many credits. It just happened that way because I think one of my math classes got dropped, and that's how I ended up like they just put in psychology in there to make up for that, and it was just a lot. And they added something else too, but it was a lot. So I just knew I needed to figure something out. And it was like there was no way I could take time off because COVID. And then when you work in a hospital, and hospital pharmacy at that, there's not a lot of technicians out there. They're not jumping at that position like that. Nobody wants to be in a hospital during COVID. They're not gonna they're not gonna take that job. I'm sorry, nobody wants to go downhill. So that's how people were looking at it, like, I'll pass. But now it's getting better as far as people applying. It's not so scary for them. So anyway, here I am, 16 credits, working full time. I prayed before going into this. I prayed before starting the semester. I looked at my class schedule and I was like, okay, Lord, I need you. We gotta handle this somehow. I gotta be able to work and I gotta be able to tackle these classes and get homework done, because I knew just by looking at them that it wasn't a joke. School to me is never a joke anyway, so I knew that it was gonna clash with work too, because I needed time to get there. As soon as I was done with work, I had to find a way. I had to figure out a system to get there on time, because right after I was done with work, I only had 30 minutes to my next class, and it took exactly 30 minutes to get to the college. And it snows here. I mean, I've lived here for most of my life, but you forget what it's like when you've experienced summers here. You you kind of get used to that, and you forget what it's like in the winter. I would pray, like, God, help me get here safely. Help me get here on time. Just anything. I was so dependent on him. Nobody else, just him. It was just me and him. It still is. It's still like that. I don't even, if a guy asks me out, I ask God first, like, hey, did you send this person to me? And if he says no, that's it. Like, that's how that's how serious it is. That's how serious I take school. I don't have time for games. You know what I mean? I've already been there, done that. So I consult him about everything, everyone. Now it's just me and God. It's just me and God, me and God, me and God, day in and day out. And I think that's always what he wanted for me, because I would spend so much time on other people, worrying about other people, caring for other people, doing things for other people. I would neglect him. I wouldn't even have time for him. If I find myself slipping back to that, I try to catch myself, stop myself, repent, and then put my time back into him, because he's put so much time into me already. I have A's because of him. And that's not what I was even going for. I wasn't trying to get A's. I wasn't even trying to get perfect attendance or something like that. I was just trying to learn everything that was being thrown at me. Taking 16 credits is a lot for somebody who's working full time. And it's not just a regular old position. This is like your career. You're already in your career. It's just a stepping stone. And it wasn't a game. Like, I could have made errors, major errors, with the amount of sleep that I was getting. I was getting very little sleep. I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, praying before I went to work, just so I could function for the day and come back and do homework and be done by midnight, sometimes 2 a.m. It wasn't like that every single day, but most nights it was. And then on the weekends, I wouldn't even sleep at all. I would be doing homework from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. My parents knew just how dedicated I was. I didn't go out. Like, I had maybe 1 or 2 people ask me out, but I had a feeling that they were going to be time wasters. I didn't even entertain that. All it took was a text message to figure them out. Just by the way they texted, I could tell that they were going to be wasting my time. When you have your eye on God and you have your eye on your goals and you already know what he has planned for you, you're not just going to let anybody come in and mess with you. Some people are just here, like, to distract you. They're here to delay you. And I would consult him. I don't care. Everything has to go through God. I never did that before. And that's how I knew he really worked on me. In the past, I would never consult him about things. I would just go through with it. What you can't see, he sees. And that's why you have to consult him. It prevents heartbreak, unnecessary pain, delay, people just coming in your life, coming to steal your blessings. You have to. You gotta make them number one. Because you don't even know who those people are and who sent them. For all you know, the devil could have sent them. And I would have all kinds of dreams nonstop. I still do every single day. Dreams. Sometimes there would be dreams of warnings. I would always consult God about them. I would never go to an interpreter. I would never just go on Google and try to find out what they meant. I would go to the person who made me and ask them, why did you give me this dream? What is this about? Sometimes I wouldn't get an answer right away, but eventually I would. And then if I wanted him to repeat that dream, he would actually repeat that dream to me. It would come back again. It would replay again. If I didn't remember it, it would replay itself again. And most of them were trials. He told me, you're going through a season of trials. And it was exactly that. It felt like a trial. It felt difficult. But I made it. I made it because of him. It's not my doing. And that's why it's just absolutely insane, because I would never do this on my own, ever. Look how long it took me to even do something like this. And yeah, you got those negative people, but I will talk about how I overcame that too. Like, since I found this really special verse that helped me get through most of my 20s. Like, everything just started making sense. Because at that age, like in teens and early 20s, you don't really know who you are. You're just beginning to. And anybody can influence you. Anybody can influence you and pretty much mold you and shape you to be who they want you to be. So I'm going to talk about a verse that kind of helped me understand what was going on around me and help me make sense of everything. I'll share that in my next video. Now that I have a couple weeks of free time, I'll share that, because I've always wanted to do this. I just never could find a brief moment to make a video about it. I've always wanted to share a few verses, especially this one, that really helped me get through some of the most difficult times of my life and just help make sense of all of it. I'll share it in my next video.